Has any one of you ever been on a festival? And has any one of you been on a festival campsite? Did you notice all the mess that was left behind after the festival had finished? Because this is what a festival looks like after it has finished. People worldwide leave a lot of stuff behind on festivals. It includes bottles and glasses, but also tents. Actually, to be more specific, 1 in 4 people in the Netherlands alone leaves their tent after the festival has finished. People are hangover or tired, and they do not feel like breaking up their tent, and they just leave it there. And as you can imagine, this creates a huge mess, and it confronts the festival organizations with a big garbage problem. All these tents that were made to be used multiple times will be thrown away after a single use. And as you can imagine, this has a big impact on the environment. So we saw this problem and we thought, what can we do about it? Can we create a tent that is cheap, reliable, dry, and recyclable? Well, on a lousy and cold day in December, a friend of mine asked me to come with him to a social event for an extracurricular course about sustainability of the Delft University of Technology. He heard that I just finished doing my coursework for the year, and he didn't really have anyone to go with. And so I said to him, yeah, sure, let's go. And I went with him to the event in Rotterdam. And there I spoke to a guy that was doing something with sustainable cardboard beach houses. Pretty interesting stuff, but I was not immediately that aroused, as I did not see how a cardboard beach house could make a significant impact to the environment. But then when I got home, it started to dawn me. I was thinking, cardboard is quite an interesting material, and in joining this course, I had nothing to lose, right? And so I called Jan later that night, and I asked him, are you still participating in that course? And can I join? He said, sure. And I also asked my housemate Bas to join. And so the 3 of us started the journey. Well, after some brainstorming, we encountered the problem of waste on festivals. And that is when we came up with this crazy idea. We should make a tent out of cardboard. And actually, when you think about it, it's not that crazy after all. Cardboard is lightweight, it's foldable, and it's very easy to recycle. Because for cardboard, a huge recycling infrastructure is available. So we went to the drawing table and made a first sketch of the tent. The design was kept very simple. A triangle-shaped tent was the result. In collaboration with a cardboard factory, we optimized it for production. The cardboard factories were very happy with our idea anyway. They all seemed to agree that it was something different from what they were used to make. And they all thought that cardboard has a lot more potential than the applications that it's used for today. And so they were very eager to help us. And therefore, the first samples we received from the cardboard factory were free, which allowed us to throw the prototypes to some tests. And so the first scale models that we received were smaller, but they allowed us to go for some easy water testing. The first tests were done in the backyard with a simple water hose, just like that. Why not? To see how the cardboard would respond. After the first test seemed very successful, we decided to order a bigger one from the cardboard factory, and we received it. And immediately, Bas wanted to try it out. He took his sleeping bag, and he went with a tent in the backyard, and he stayed the night there. And that night was one of the worst storms of last spring. But the next morning, Bas was still dry, until he touched the tent, because as soon as he did, the whole tent collapsed. What a problem. Where did it go wrong? It turned out that in the factory, they had glued the tent in the wrong way. It was glued just like this, with the corrugated side facing the rain. And all the water could therefore just flow right into the core of the cardboard, which is not very waterproof. So therefore, we went with this back to the cardboard factory and we received another sample, this time glued in the right way. Now we had more success. The tent, we checked the tent in the coming months almost daily to see if it was still dry from the inside. And it was. It didn't look very pretty after a while, but the most important thing, it didn't collapse. And from the inside, it was completely dry. What a remarkable success. But then we encountered another problem. Because cardboard factories are used to work with big numbers. So we could not order several tents. 10 tents, 20 tents, no, that's not going to happen. If you want tents, you need to order 250. Oh, that's a lot. But hey, we wanted to do this, right? And so we decided to just go for it. And we ordered 250 tents. But then we were thinking, where do we leave them? Luckily, we knew a guy that owned a huge farm. And he didn't have any problem with just storing the tents there for a little while. That was actually one of our luckiest things during the process, because as soon as the tents arrived, a huge truck came driving up to the farm. The doors of the truck went open, and a gigantic cardboard stack, 2.5 by 2.5 meters and 5 meters high, became visible. It was good that the farmer owned some heavy machinery, because otherwise we would have had a real problem here. It was absolutely a magical day to see the tents arrive on the farm and see my cardboard tents for the first time. And then we called festival organizations to see if they were interested. But reaching the bigger ones was not very easy. These crazy guys from Delft with a cardboard tent, how can that be any good news? Well, how would we convince people to stay in a cardboard box? Well, in the end, we managed. It is possible to create a tent out of cardboard. Nowadays, we have been to 8 festivals, and many people have slept in our tents. We have learned a lot. And while the tent is not perfect yet, we are getting there. So next year, we will hope to continue our journey and shine on even more festivals. I learned that cardboard is a material that has many more possibilities than I thought before starting the process. And while we were doing something extraordinary, and while some people considered us very crazy, in the end we managed to pull it off, and we created a working tent out of cardboard. I think that we should look beyond the common application of materials, and look beyond the boundaries that we know. We took a material suitable for packaging, and we gave a whole new meaning to it. And who knows what more is possible with cardboard? Who knows that in a few years, we might actually organize a festival where everything is made out of cardboard. Thank you.